This episode is brought to you by Generate Solutions, your go-to AI experts specializing in empowering commercial real estate companies and environmental consulting firms. As AI is quickly transforming industries and enhancing efficiency, it is important you don't let your business fall behind. At Generate Solutions, we streamline workflows and automate tasks by creating custom AI agents tailored specifically to your business needs. Interested in taking your operations to the next level with AI? Email mfiorante@generatesolutions.com or find us directly on LinkedIn by clicking the link in the bio. On to our episode.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of A Conversation with John Conenna. Tonight, it brings me great pleasure to go back to the world of sports and a sports that I think a lot of people love and a lot of people would love to play this game. It's a game that has to be played. It's like 5 games in one. And I brought in 2 gentlemen from the field of soccer tonight, that are coaching and have started their own club. It's called the Azzurri United Soccer Club here in Chicago, Illinois. And I brought in 2 of the coaches here tonight, Roberto Abbadessa, and I brought in Farooq Fahimi. They're going to talk about their experience in starting this club, what their mission is for this. And again, like I said, we talk about the game of soccer. Gentlemen, good evening and welcome. And I truly appreciate you guys coming on this evening. I'll start with either one of you here. How are you both doing? And how does the passion for soccer start? Farooq, we're going to start with you.
I've been a big soccer fanatic since childhood, and every time I look at the ball, that drive, that, to run, kick it, put it in the net, kind of make some fancy move, that always rejuvenates with me. And our meeting with my partner, Rob, my coach, and was kind of very, happened on Halloween night,
Yeah.
I actually went trick-or-treating at his house. One of the parents was like, there's a soccer player inside this house. You should go knock that door. So, I met up Rob, and kind of our journey begins right from that night. We talked for 5 seconds, and we connected, and it basically we started right from there.
Rob, do you remember that night? And did you feel like a chemistry going on here with Farooq?
Oh, yeah, like it was yesterday, yeah. So he pretty much, was a vampire or something like that. I was a Mad Hatter. But now, my daughter was trick-or-treating, and we just took a break, and he happened to come with a neighborhood friend. And so we went trick-or-treating together, and next thing you know, we were talking soccer, talking coaching, and next thing you know, we're like, hey, what if we were to start a clinic on one corner? The next corner we turned, hey, how about we start a camp? So the wheels were turning right away, and so we gave it a couple days and said, hey, let's reconnect. And sure enough, we had a plan to start a clinic that would hopefully turn into a camp, that hopefully would turn into a team that we can enter into a league. So now we're at that stage where it picked up pretty quick. Yeah. And he's an all right guy. He knows the game pretty good. So.
Yeah, exactly. Let's feed off that. Between the two of you, because, this always comes up, especially when you're doing coaching and clinics and people want to know the experience level, I'm sure. And, of course, it comes down to the parent, which we're going to touch on here in this interview. How many years of experience, the playing and the coaching part, between the two of you?
I've been playing since I was 4, really.
Right.
But this coaching journey has brought me to get certified in coaching, to make everything on paper, law abiding. And
Robbie, you could always raise it a notch, your voice too, both of you.
Yeah.
We could raise,
Sure. So really 40, I'm 41 now, so really 35 years of experience, if not more, and so there's about 50 between the two.
Farooq, safe to say you guys both have, it's been like this international in the two families of the sport, correct? And when does your journey start for you?
For me, it started when I was a little little boy, I was basically wasn't picked on the team. They put me as a goalie to just kind of make the 11 roster, and then
Right.
from there worked my way. Went to defense. Played high school soccer as a defender, as a stopper. Worked my way up, and went to university at University of Toronto. I played there in the campus team, and then the next year I ended up coaching. So my coaching journey began all the way in '93. So I've been coaching
Wow.
since 1993. Some sort of, either a collegiate level or a high school level or, elementary. So it goes, we bring in a lot of experience when we started this club. So we know kind of what we're looking at, what we wanted to accomplish. Our mission was there. I always wanted a club for myself. I always wanted to teach kids how to play soccer. And once Rob was like, that's my retirement plan, like you're tapping into my retirement, I was like, why don't we just both retire together? Like we make our club
plan.
and we do it together. And I've seen him so many times come into my neighbor, because he's actually related to my neighbor. So I've seen him for the last 7 years across the fence, and we never connected. And then that Halloween night is when we actually, I was like, I see you, I know you. And he's like, I see you and I know you too. So let's just, and it just connected from there.
Yeah, it worked.
Wow. So, to do something like this, the big word here is, you're a player at one time in your life and you want to give back to the sport, and you have that confidence and you see a lot of things, how kids are being taught or if they're not being taught. But what was the trigger? I mean, because you both look like, okay, hey, we met on this one night, we start talking. What was the trigger? What makes you guys want to do this? I mean, what was that trigger? Like, we could do this,
Yeah, a good answer to that is, you coach because you can't technically do it anymore. You know what I mean? And you want to live vicariously through these kids and train them. But really, the spark was just the passion. It's in our blood. And my father, so he handed that passion down to me, and it's something that we'll always have. So we both have young ones that are very active. He actually has a son that plays right now, which is probably what's pushing him more to get this thing rolling from maybe getting training into his dad's own hands that he trusts and definitely develop him better. And here I come with some other techniques, and the next thing you know, we have 20-something kids. So that's what the goal was, is to really get his son better, really out the gate. And then next thing you know, we're like, you know what? These other friends and families are following. Why don't we start something?
Because I think when I met Rob, my son was playing in his first year as a travel team, as a travel soccer. And, you entrust everything into the coaches and into the club to get your son to play better. And after several months of observing, and I felt like the progress that I wanted to see for my son was not there. And when I met Rob on November 4th, 4 days later, when we're like, hey, let's talk to it, let's ponder upon this idea. I came up and I said, look, Rob, here's what my son is at. What do you think that can happen, or where we can take my son to the next level? And he said, well, we can take him to a higher level than what he's doing right now. So why are we not coaching your son? And that kind of sparked into me that I've done it with other kids. I've done it with like high school, university kids. So what is the difference that I start with my own son and with the community kids that want to learn more and want to do more with soccer, and they're not getting the opportunity that they're playing right now in the leagues that they are right now? And that was kind of the starting point, that we need to start something right away. And we went ahead and without even having any players, we booked our first month of clinic, and didn't know how many players we were going to get. Our expectation was, if we get 5 to 7 players, we are golden. And we ended up having 9 on our first session, which compared to what everybody thought was like, wow, you guys started right out.
3 weeks later, yeah.
And then a month later, we're sitting with 26 on our roster and 19 active coming to our practices.
Wow. Okay, so this started basically in November of 24?
November of 24, yes.
So yeah, like you said, right after that October meet, so you guys got right at it. And that is something, because here now you've already established, how many players now do we have in this Azzurri United that are following you and doing the club's work?
We have on our roster, we have 25 players active listed. 19 was in our last camp that was physically and actively coming in and participating on a daily basis.
Wow. Okay. Fantastic. The situation becomes this: are you approached? Now it becomes a referral thing. Hey, did you see what this Coach Farooq or Coach Roberto are doing? Hey, my little John or my little Bill really likes this, or Sarah is really liking this. Are you getting that kind of referral feedback?
Yeah, we actually are getting pretty good reviews already just from our first camp and clinics, which we all know reviews are pretty big in this world. But yeah, word of mouth, friends of friends, customers, friends. We both have full-time jobs, and we're doing this because it's for the passion. My daughters don't even play. I mean, a little bit here and there. Yeah, they're on the roster, so to speak, but they're not there because they love the game like these other kids are, and they're still coming because it's fun. So that's the point: is you don't necessarily have to love soccer to come to our camp, but we are pushing this as a soccer camp. Like, we're developing soccer players, And
what is the if you don't mind me asking, what is the age levels of this? Who's the youngest that could start with you, and who's the oldest? Are you taking different sessions?
6 to 13 is what we're shooting for.
Okay.
6 to 13 to kind of get them ready for high school. Now, who knows where this can go? I've played club where there was older, and you had to pick and choose high school or club. Some are allowing you to play both, in tournaments and such, but I would say, 13 is maxed right now. And
So currently we have 3 coaches on our
Okay.
Coach Jose is not here tonight with us, but he's our third coach. And we do have 2 standby coaches who will join us once we do our summer camp, June 10th, which is our biggest camp that we'll be running. So our focus is that we didn't want it to just start and have Rob and myself, with a lot of kids and just play soccer, because I know everybody thinks about soccer. It's a recreational sport. You kick the ball and that's it. But to us, soccer means a lot. It's about the technique. It's about that flair that you bring in. It's about that style, that passion that comes in. And it's also the discipline, because a lot of great players that play the game, you have to get stronger mentally and physically inside the game. But as well, you have to be a better sports person outside the game. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make them toughen up the kids. We want to get them the mental strength. And at the same time, we want to make sure that what they take in the game of soccer, the companionship that they build, the trust, the confidence, they can able to use that in their daily lives outside soccer, in their schools, in their communities. So that way the child can excel better. And that's what our focus has been, is not just come in and scrimmage and then go home, but build something upon it. Teach the kids something so they can take it and learn upon it.
Farooq, beautifully said. I coached hockey here in Illinois for many years. Beautifully said. What I loved about hockey, just like soccer, it was a controlled environment, and beautifully how you said it. This was a 4-day commitment week with me, meaning 2 practices, 2 games, and you better be committed to it. There could be no distractions, because when there are the distractions, that's when things suffer. And a distraction, and you're not saying it, you guys are not saying, I'll say it for you. Sometimes the distraction itself is the parent, because the parent thinks, oh yeah, what does Rob know? Farooq, what does he know? And this now transcends to the kid in the car ride home and the car ride coming back. Don't listen to what Abbadessa says. Don't forget about Fahimi. You're doing it my way. Do you see that from the player that has come now into your soccer club, where you had to break that habit?
Our wolf den, let's call it. No, not really. We've kind of had that. So when we started out, it's word of mouth and friends that we knew had players that came, and they just said, oh my God, thank you for doing this, and here you go. Here's my child. So trust was not a thing at first. It was just do what you got to do because we know what you can do and provide. Granted, I didn't play at the top level of professional, but it always was up in here that I could play professional, and that's all that really matters. But yeah, there's definitely the passion that's there. So it's
when our first camp began, we got a lot of calls coming in saying we want to sign up our kid, and me and Rob were going at it, and wow, we have a list. It was 15, 20.
Sure.
The question came down is that when we spoke to the parents, we asked them, are you willing to come to practice every day that your son is going to be there? Because we're one of the clubs that we don't allow the parents to just drop in and go home. I understand parents are dedicated to multiple kids sports. They have a lot on their plate. We totally understand that. We respect that. But if we want to build onto something great, we want to make sure the parents were involved first. Because if the parents dedicate their time, the child sees that now my parent and a coach is involved in my progress. That motivation builds really strong in that child to do better. When the child is just left alone and the coach is not paying attention, the parent is not there, doesn't matter how much training session you give that child, that athlete will not get anywhere. So we wanted to build a community support where, the parents get to know us very personally. We get to know them. We understand the child's, skill sets, their level of engagement, what drives this athlete, what else can we do to motivate. A lot of it came through communicating with the parent, with the child, and involving the whole community that we have.
Can you tell right away, and I think in a conversation that we had off camera today, and I think Rob brought it up, do you see right away, because you guys have both played this at a high level, and I'm sure, Farooq, I think you came from a soccer background. Not knowing you, I could just tell by this conversation. I know Robert did because his father, and I have to tell you, I wound up watching the 2006 World Cup with his dad. I think that was the year, Rob, when Italy beat Germany. And it was just really fun to watch it with your dad because your dad knew the game, okay? And, was able to tell me, hey, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. They have to play a little bit more defense here. And it was like a prelude to what we do now here in America for baseball, basketball, everything. So having that soccer background, and his father is Enzo Abbadessa, who played at the level. But do you see in those first few minutes or even those first couple of days, this kid or this boy or this lady has it or not? Can you tell where you go up to the parent? And I'll have you both answer that question. Where you go up to the parent, well, he's trying, but this is his skill set, and we need to work with him a little harder.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of my my hidden talents, I guess I can say, is I can really truly see a kid walk or run and gather a ball and see where they're at, what level they're at, just by a few minutes, yes. And we can mold off of that, from 0 to a level 3, let's say, after a first practice, so to speak, which is a good reference for our newbies, that we've done.
Farooq, your take on it yourself?
When we did the first practice, we just rolled the balls on the court. And we let the kids have the balls for 10 minutes. That first 10 minutes was an eye-opener because when you see a child trying their best, working hard, you can see that drive, that passion come out with the ball versus somebody just trying to kick the ball just because their parents forced them to there. You can see a difference between a player that is their parents want him to play soccer versus a player that wants to come and get better at soccer. Right. And those two, a good coach can recognize right away. And you can build upon both. Not saying that the one that the parent wants, you cannot mold into a player. As long as that passion is there, that drive is there, and that focus and the willingness to learn is there. Because that's what we always say is that in soccer, you can never be great. There's always other opportunities for you to learn. If you're an amazing striker, you can become a great midfielder or be a good a defensive player.
Overall player.
So there's a lot of combinations that we look at it, and it kind of just, the player kind of exhibits that by just being on the field, that body language, that feel with the ball. It kind of tells us what is this player doing, and it kind of says, here you go. This is what you need to do with this player to take this player to the next level.
Sure. What is the commitment level with you guys during the week with the kids and the parents? What is the commitment level?
2 days a week. So our camp consists of...
How many days a week, Rob? I'm sorry.
2 days a week. 2 days a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays typically. Our camp consists of...
But, I mean, are we putting in Farooq, we're putting in a solid 2 hours when we say 2 days a week, 2 hours, 2 hours?
Yeah,
solid.
Solid 2
So
hours.
sometimes we go over. We appreciate. we start early. We appreciate the parents coming in, and our fan base. A lot of times when we are in the Elk Grove Village in Illinois in the Pavilion Gym, there are other parents that come in and kind of see why is there such a big crowd there, because all our parents are there. They're all cheering. They're all videotaping.
We typically have a scrimmage at the end. So
and that kind of makes others
Nice.
wonder and say, what is going on here? Why is there a big crowd here? Something must be happening that parents are always here. And that kind of gets us. And we actually got 3 recruits from just there. Parents showed up and said, wow, like, I love what's going on here. Your fan base is big. And now you guys have a full crowd on the field. So it's like, can my son join in? And that's where we start from.
I have to ask you, so basically, you guys are not taking, well, let me do it this way. Let's say it's a band of 12-year-olds, 12 and 13-year-olds. Are we forming a team to play in a league or no?
yeah, we're kind of letting our camp and clinics form that for us. Like if we have a U10, that was my goal, and I kind of was clear with him. Like I want to filter this camp, and if we have a solid team that can win, and we can really mold it, not a 6-year-old with a U10 player. Like we're not going to do that to them. If we can actually filter a solid team, which we're there after how many months, then I feel like we have good things coming. So yes, I would say yes, we are going to turn this into a club, which our name is a soccer club, so it would be false advertising if not. So
Yeah, exactly. For a question for you,
Yes.
do you? I know it's been not a short time, because here we're already from November to now, and we're going into the spring season.
one winter training, yeah.
Do you get the parent that says, hey, Farooq, Rob, he's going to be playing with this league in a travel league. Let's say he's playing in a travel league. I would like you guys to come out and see how he's doing. Have you been approached that way?
Yes, actually. And I have something like that coming up with a very, very good potential coach that will come with 4 players that are very solid. And there's no names that are going to be sent out there because nothing's set in stone. But we are going to go definitely have a meeting and check out an invitation from us to go check his son out.
Wow.
So
okay.
I think
Go ahead,
to
Farooq. I'm
kind of
sorry.
add on is that all our players, all our 26 players that are on our roster, 25, 26, they all play different rec leagues and travel soccer. They're all committed into different programs
As of right now.
And
Some, yeah.
and
Right.
when we did our winter camp, actually some of them left their programs to come join in, because when we did our November camp, the kids were very excited in what they learned, that they were willing to come from January till March and support us back again. So we did pick up a lot of kids. We were approached to come in. Some parents actually asked us to come in and evaluate the kids' performance and to see what the next steps are. And we actually had open invitations for them, that instead of us coming, seeing them in their game, have them come and show us what they can do in the ball in an area where we can kind of better direct them and challenge them. And if we can do that, we can actually see where the progress of this kid is, what the athlete needs more, and kind of work from them.
Sure. I have to ask you, and of course we won't mention any names, but when you go to these things and you see a coach and you see the player that you've been training in your camps,
my hair rises in the back
do
of my
you
neck.
see the havoc where maybe the coach now is showing them the wrong way, and you guys have been showing him, let's say, for a correct word, the right way? What goes through your minds? Did you ever approach a coach and say, why are you doing this?
I've never been in that situation, but I can imagine what it would feel like, And I've seen my little nephew or cousins, let's say, play at a little rec league, 6, 7 years old, and I was already frustrated then. This was before me and him even started this whole thing, and it was frustrating then too. Did not see the coach move more than, and this was like a 30-minute game slash practice kind of for these little ones, and the coach didn't move more than 5 feet the whole practice. Where me
Wow.
and him are literally, and in that one drill where I'm literally laying down, showing him how to kick a soccer ball, or different techniques on the fly. Okay, kid's not hitting the ball, or in your case, the puck right. Let's try something else, and he literally hits it solid just from a little tweak. So that's like what we're very good at, like on the fly kind of thing. And if we feel a practice going a little sour, where kids are a little anxious, then we'll mix it up. We're very good combination 1-2 punch when it comes to that stuff. Yeah. Well, 1-2-3 punch.
Yeah.
Do you guys set up a different? Let's use the easy number 2 days a week. You guys are setting up a different practice for each day.
Yeah,
It's not a
we
repetitious practice for the next week.
Yeah.
You're doing something different all the time.
We do a weekly communication right after practice. All the parents are sent in a weekly communication of what actually went well in the practice, what the focus was. And
Sure.
then we also give them a breakdown of what we are going to focus in the next practice, what the target actions are going to be, what the drills are going to be. And
Sure.
we try to give the kids some homework to kind of do and videotape themselves and bring it to us. Because I know with limitations with other coaches, and we don't want to speak bad about any other club or any other facility. We just feel that, as coaches, like when we were growing up, we got this opportunity. Great coaches came on and took their time. People in the community supported us and made us get to a level that we appreciate. And
Sure.
now it's our turn to give it back. And when we see that that's not happening on a professional level, it kind of makes us say, well, we could do better. Like, we should be not allowing our kids just to kind of wander off on the soccer field. There's other opportunities that we can explore and help them. And what kind of athletes or human beings are we allowing them to grow? Because whatever you learn in the soccer field, you project that outside the field. And if that's the commitment, that's the sentiment that you get, the loneliness that, you're not going to get the pass, or you're not good, or you shouldn't be on the team, that's how you're going to feel outside the game. So we want to make sure our players are stronger. Their minds are perseverance. They're built like not physically, but emotionally and their mindset. So that way, when they go outside in the school, they can be more obedient and more disciplined and
Sure.
and be better.
Yeah, it's more than a game. I mean, we know
Sure.
that as a kid.
I'm going to bring something up that I used to do, and I'm sure you guys are doing this too. We use the word dry land in hockey, where, there was a night where I think my thing was 3 days a week, where we would just run, exercise, calisthenics, a lot of running, and I'm sure you guys have implemented this. This sport of soccer, if you were to watch it with, that guy that maybe is, how do I want to say this, the baseball player, and he says, oh yeah, this is ridiculous, 1-0, 1-1, this is boring, oh my God. And one day I watched the game with the guys who were baseball players, and I says, I can only compare this sport to one thing. 11 men on a field. You got to be disciplined, Farooq, like you said, and like Rob said, your mindset has to be ready. Or the guy who's the boxer, 3 minutes in a round. 3 minutes in a round is like 3 hours in a round. You got to be ready, disciplined. Mm-hmm. The conception of 11 men on the field, you guys have brought it really to the forefront here tonight with the discipline, the emotion, the skill. Are they aware of that? That, when from the 6-year-old to the 13-year-old, what every man, the importance of every man. We'll start with Rob.
Yeah. We positioning and moving without the ball is pretty much how we're trying to have them move. So we both agreed on a nice drill that he came up with. Was like a lacrosse game. What do we call it?
Handball soccer.
Handball soccer, where you have to move with the ball. At first, like, what's going on? I said, I know. Just keep going, and it was totally fun. Right before you score, you got to toss it to the person's foot and then score. So it teaches them to move without the ball and positioning. Now, some of the littles, yeah, they kind of bunch up, and then instantly we say, hey, spread out, and then they move, and they learn quick. The older ones, you can already see with passing, they're moving. Hockey, it's very similar to that.
Similar, yes.
There was some good drills that were, they're learning it quick. That's important.
I'm going to just stop it here for a second show. I want to show our audience something about you guys. We're visiting today with Farooq Fahimi, coach and owner, and Roberto Abbadessa, coach and owner of the Azzurri United Soccer Club. I just want to say that they have a soccer camp, and I'll hold up this flyer that I printed out here tonight. And this is going to be in Elk Grove Village at Marshall Field. And I think our dates here are June 10th through August 14th, Tuesday and Thursdays from 5:30 to 7:30. And of course, when we get a little bit toward the end here in the next few minutes, you guys could kind of say what else is going on. But this is really something that how you guys have gotten this off the ground and everything else. And the commitment from both of you and the experience that you guys have is just tremendous. To have this work ethic and instill this into these players. What's on the horizon besides this camp that I just held up again, the Azzurri United Soccer Camp? What else is the plans as we move forward with this? Farooq?
So we are planning on introducing a unique opportunity for one player to have a scholarship within our club. That scholarship will pay for the summer and winter camps. Will pay for all expenses. Will be provided by Azzurri United. So that player will have the opportunity to get the best gear, go to every tournament, come to every camp. Because when we look at our community, our community is the one that actually supported us. And I wanna give a big thanks to Sleen Construction, our sponsors, Healing Paradise Acupuncture, Massage Mayhem, who actually these three came first on board when we just started this club. To start from ground up, you needed some financial support.
Sure.
And these three great individuals came on board and said, you know what? We're here. We're going to support you. Go do what you guys got to do. And we just jumped on our passion, and we knew that we had a backing of them. And also individuals at my work at Costco in Schaumburg, they were great with supporting us and with every way that they can. And I really am thankful to these individuals. And then we brought in other sponsors along the way. Marino Realty came on board. Innate Concepts came on board.
Myself.
Rob Fix It with Ease, our biggest sponsor right here.
Very nice.
And then also the Cairo.
Cairo Recovery, another good sponsor. So all these sponsors really got us that push,
Yeah, no.
So the goal really is to eventually have our own facility, which is big bucks. So,
And again, we're using, of course, we mentioned the Marshall Park here in Elk Grove, the pavilion.
Yeah, so that is our outdoor session, yes.
Are we doing anything in Schaumburg at Olympia Fields?
Not yet. We're going to probably do a tournament at Olympia Field. Once we get our camp started, we are going to run a first ever Azzurri United tournament.
Oh, wow.
And we are looking, we're trying to speak with Olympic Park to see if we can use that facility for that. And we're going to invite other teams to come challenge us because, other coaches and players have said, they play for better clubs. So you know what? Azzurri United is here, and we're going to be in here for a long run. So come show us, play against us, show us what you can do. And we want to show you what our kids have learned and what they're going to do against you guys.
And you know what, Farooq, thank you for bringing that up also. And Rob, when you say you're going to so will you take, let's say, I'll just keep using the best of your 9-year-olds. You'll put a team together, like maybe a little all-star team, the best of your 9-year-olds, put 11 men on the field, 11 ladies, or half and half, 6 and 5, and go at it, correct?
Correct.
Wow, that will be something, and the reason why I mentioned Olympia Field's not living too far from there.
Right.
There are some nights when I just love in the summer to just go and slow down to see these young men, these young ladies going at it under the lights at 9, 10 o'clock at night. I mean, the commitment level is something else. Before I let you guys go, I just love this mission statement. I mean, I read it a couple times today. I think I told Rob to send it to me 100 times today because I kept losing it. But this is what really stuck out at me about both of you tonight. The mission is to build confidence, which you brought out in this interview. Resilience and teamwork to strengthen their mindset, which is huge. The mindset comes over everything, or the culture. Foster physical fitness, athletic skills for an athletic lifestyle, and cultivate problem-solving abilities to sharpen their game and life skills. This is it. When I came to Conant High School, the person told me who hired me, "What are you going to do different here?" Change the culture. And this is what you guys are doing. Farooq, Fahimi, Roberto, Abbadessa, I really want to thank you guys both for coming on a conversation with John Conenna. We got to do a part 2 because in 6 months, when this becomes a year, I want to see where this is at, and I'm glad that you guys made me a part of this tonight. Any closing remarks from both of you?
Thank you very much, John, for having us on your show.
John, thank you.
This was great, and I want to tell our audience this will be going out on YouTube and Spotify probably by Saturday or Sunday, so everybody can see this interview with Coach Farooq and Coach Roberto. And, of course, Spotify is on a listening platform, and, of course, YouTube for everyone to see. And I want to get this out to all the social media sites. This is really something. Again, we have spoken tonight to both coaches, Farooq Fahimi, Roberto Abbadessa for Azzurri United Soccer Club. Don't forget their soccer camp here again this summer, and costs and everything else. And of course, can we go to a website? You guys want to mention one of the websites before we leave?
Yeah, we actually have, that is in the works.
That's in the works. We're about to finish up with the content on the website. We do have our Facebook, Azzurri United. See,
got it.
Our Instagram is up. Our Google page is up. Everywhere you see this logo, it's a logo work of art that Rob can explain if you have a quick second about on this tattoo on this.
Let's before I let you go, Rob. How was the logo created?
Yeah, so we both played for teams. One was called Azzurri growing up. One was a United. So we kind of just combined it, and there you go there. But as far as the logo goes, we kind of just. It was kind of a no-brainer for me. I'm like, okay, I kind of want an animal. What's a badass animal that can protect that ball, And sure enough, a wolf is supposedly going to be. It's an Italian animal too, so it's Azzurri base, means blue in Italy, So it kind of just made sense, And then I had a tattoo artist draw up our logo here, and it's got to the point where even he's like, you know what, this is probably the baddest thing I done in a while. Can I get a tattoo of it? And he was joking, of course. I'm like, hey, why not? But we're gonna probably get it trademarked.
And we're actually selling our merchandise with the logo. So our parents are actually buying shirts.
Sure.
And the parents are gonna be called the Wolf Pack. So they're gonna be our Wolf Pack. And our office is gonna be called the Wolf Den.
Yeah, if we
nice.
want to get to that point.
Well, I have this good inside feeling, because this was a great conversation tonight. I have this inside feeling that we're going to be hearing a lot of Azzurri in the near future.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good night, everyone, and thank you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.